it seems you don't want this relationship. It's fine. Give me back my ring.
Ah. Ha! This is a safe space. If you're seeing this is a safe space. This is a safe space. Hi guys. Remember in my very first episode, my solo episode, I said that it's a safe space for you, it's a safe space for me, and for everybody that matters. Today, I have someone that matters, and she's very dear to me. I've known her since I entered the University of Lagos. That's been how long? Since 2015. Like, we went through all those lecturers, professors, doctors together, all that shiki. And she's also a warrior. And I brought her here because I've watched her fight. I've been there on one occasion, and I've seen her overcome. Sometimes I even find it really hard to believe that, because I've seen other people and I've seen her, and I tend to ask whether there are tears of warriors, because she's pretty strong. Say hi to Winnie'Fred.
I'm shy.
Winnie, baby.
I'm shy.
Most of you recognize her from the viral video from the Sickle cell campaign. Yeah. Hi, Winnie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing well.
Thank you for coming.
Don't mention.
I'll mention. Let me mention. I'll mention. Winifred, I mean, I didn't lie about knowing you for that long. We've known each other for that long. And
yeah,
I mean, I feel like the very first time I found out that you were a warrior was when you were in the hospital. You don't look it.
I get that a lot.
I apologize to everybody. I always apologize to everybody else, because the next question is, what are the people that have sickle cell?
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to answer
exactly.
that. But you don't look it. Like, carry yourself with so much grace. Winifred she was a fashion girl in school. She still is a fashion girl. Winifred's high waist trouser. My
God!
I'm serious.
That's the only trouser I wear, high waist. If it's nothing less than high waist,
I was always wearing high waist trousers to class. And whenever she was wearing that waist, had to be high waist. And she had, the figure. Winifred was one of the girls.
I feel like you're checking me. What's going on?
I probably am. You can't say. But the first time I found out that Winnie was a warrior was when it was on a Sunday. That didn't happen on a Sunday.
You can remember so
I can remember. I really can remember, because the school was empty that day.
Okay.
So I left my hospital and I came to the hospital, and then Precious was there. Was it Precious? Chinaza was there. And we're outside. They didn't let us in at first, and then we came in. We were the only one in the ward, and we were on the right side of the ward. Yes, I remember. You were on the right side. I remember how dilapidated that building looked. It was medical center. I remember every day, and I was scared because we had lost Rod previously, and my thing with losing Roddy was she was a cautionary tale at the end of the day. Like, she became a moral lesson kind of thing.
Yeah.
So my prayer from that point till I left school was that we should not lose anybody again, because they would always find a way to make you a cautionary tale, as long as you're a woman.
Exactly.
Our professor, our HOD was a woman, but she always still found a way to make women cautionary tales, right? But you carried it so well. I don't know if you had episodes before that in school, but that was my first. You did?
I have, yeah.
See, I had no idea until.
I have. I know Rolly left, I think, 200 or 300. 200 level.
200 level first.
Yeah. I've had a lot before then. Yes.
Were you in school hostel?
So, I wasn't in school hostel. I know that in year 2, I don't even know who sent me. But I wanted to feel the whole school environment and all. So I decided to stay in Kofo. And I had one miserable crisis. I had infection. And infection is part of my triggers. So in the middle of the night, ambulance came from medical center to carry me. Took me to medical center. They said I was not getting better. I think I went into coma. Then they carried me to Lut. On my journey to Lut, I woke up. And I realized I was going to Lut. That was my first time going to Lut. And I was like, if I'm going to Lut, that means I'm nearing death.
Serious.
You get? That is very serious. I got to Lut. I think I went into coma again. They even wanted to take me to psychiatric home because then I didn't like blood transfusion. When I was very small, I saw ways to get HIV/AIDS. Number one, blood transfusion. So I never liked blood transfusion, and I woke up to blood entering my vein. So I started running, man, like, no, I don't want this. I don't. They tied me to the bed, like they thought I was going mad, but literally, and the thing is, at that moment, you can't say no, I'm not mad. Because the moment you say no, you're not mad, means you are mad. So I kept on trying to explain that no, it's the blood, I don't want it, blah blah blah. They said that I'll be better with that. I said I've done years without blood. That was my first time receiving blood. I would always take ugu water, milk, any other thing apart from blood transfusion, I'll take it. Well, that was like my first time receiving blood. So that moment was a bit rough for me. That was year 2, first semester. Since then, I said I'm not doing anything school hostel, because that's when the moment you come inside, you just be smelling urine, you smell several things. I was like, nah, this is definitely a trigger. So let me just stay outside where I can control my space and my environment. But luckily for me, and I thank God for that, I don't have so much episodes. And I think every other person can have that life. But the thing is, it's difficult. So I feel like if people know their triggers, it's not like it will completely take out you falling sick or anything, but it reduces it to a great number. So I'll use myself as an example. I didn't visit the hospital more than twice in a year, every time in my life, until this year. And I got a new job. The environment was very cold. Cold is one of my triggers. So I noticed that life became harder this year for me regarding that. And also stress. So I'm also still trying to understand. It was my first, in quotes, very big company. So know how policies are being placed here, know how things. So it was stressing me emotionally, physically. Any small mistake like this, heartbreak or friendship issues, I'm going straight to the hospital. So I had to be very intentional as well. Some people will say, oh, you laugh a lot, you smile a lot, you don't know where you're going. I'm intentional because if I'm not happy, I know where I'm going to be. So I feel like if people know their triggers and respect it, because people know, some people know, you guys know, but you would not. Some people know that alcohol deals with them. Some of them now, like I know a very good friend of mine that she drinks alcohol a lot and it doesn't affect her. If I mistakenly take alcohol, God, I know where I'm going to be. So people know their triggers, but they're not respecting it. And that's why it also now like triggers them a lot. And you see them going to the hospitals and hospital here.
I want to take you back to your childhood.
Okay.
The very first time you experienced an episode, were you aware?
I was asking my mom this question recently. I cannot remember my first episode. So another thing that I noticed that messes with me is I forget things easily. Yes. That's why I'm surprised. I can remember you coming to me in the hospital, but I can't remember all these details that you see my bed is on the right. I cannot remember all those things. I forget things easily. I can't remember my first episode, but I can remember my worst episode as a child. And that was the first time me being in the hospital for 2 weeks straight. I sat on the floor. Then my siblings were in school or they have left the house or something. So they were not close by to always be there. My mom would go to work, then come back maybe in the evening, leave in the morning. She was literally sleeping there. My dad would come. My dad runs a restaurant business, so he has to be at the restaurant in the evening. I'll sit on the floor. I'll be crying. I started singing this Frank Edwards song, Mama. That was my best song that period. I had pain from Monday, for example, till the next 2 weeks Monday. It didn't stop at any point. That was my worst experience as a child. I was like, what was going through? And the thing is, sometimes when my mom is around, I'm trying so much not to cry, not to show her how much pain, because I'm seeing it affect her. She's acting like she's all good, but I'm seeing it affect her. Sometimes she just leaves the room. She's coming back with a red eye. I know what you're going to do. You get? So it's even, I feel like when they're even around, it's even worse because when my friends are around, I'm trying to crack a joke, I'm trying to laugh so that you don't feel bad for me. I'm like trying to, but that period was the worst for me. 2 weeks I will never forget without a break. The only break I have is maybe when I'm giving painkillers and I sleep off and I'm waking up into point A again, like starting all over again. So yeah, that was my worst
It
experience.
makes sense that people be addicted to painkillers. Like, it makes a lot of sense. Because I can't imagine feeling like I'm sitting here, my lower belly is paining me, and I'm twisting up and down. So I can't imagine having a crisis for 2 weeks straight. That's so crazy. How many siblings do you have?
I used to have 5. One is late. And so we're 6. 3 is AS, 3 of us, we are SS. We all look alike, like carbon copy, photocopy. You get. So I lost the first one at the age of 20. He was a disciplinarian.
Was he 20 or were you 20?
He was 20. He was a disciplinarian, but he was also the comedian of the house. It feels like when you have this, in my house, the way they trained us, the fact that you have this problem, you shall want to be happy. You force yourself to be happy. So you try as much as possible to do things. So my brother was like the comedian and everything. His birthday was June 3rd. And we're all sitting down in the sitting room. He wasn't there. So I'm like, let me go and check in on him. Let him come and gas us all. And I saw him really sick. And I went, I'll never forget that day. I forget things, but I will not forget this day. I went to the sitting room and I told my parents that, it's like King is Sickle, that he's having pains. And they rushed him to the hospital on his birthday, June 3rd. 2 days later, June 5th, that was his 20th birthday. And there's this myth that they say at 20, sickle cell warriors will die. They don't pass 20 years. At least when I was growing up, I heard it a lot. So, June 5th, my parents, I think my mom came inside. She didn't say anything. And she said, I asked, where is he? He said, he's coming. So I was on the step waiting like, hey, he's coming and all. My dad came and I'm like, you guys will not leave someone that just recovered now. And he came and he didn't say anything to me. So he knocked on my neighbor's door and said in Igbo that, do you know that Ekene is dead? And I was like, I was so confused, like, are we joking? Momsy said he's coming. I went downstairs to check the car. He was not there. And that's when I realized, I told myself that 20 is the cutoff mark. I'm
How old were you at this point?
I can't remember, but I was in primary 4.
Oh my goodness.
Do you get? So I can't remember my age. How old?
You were really young.
I was in primary 4. So I sat there and I realized that I can't plan my life past 20. But I was even talking about this just before I came here. And I realized that I told myself that I was going to be a happy child. That's the moment I told myself that. So you can piss me off. And the next minute I've forgotten what you did to me. So apart from Christianity, like leave Christianity aside, I told myself that I was going to forgive and forget and move on. Like I'm not going to be keeping things in my heart because literally my brother was all right. June 3rd in the morning and June 3rd in the afternoon he's sick. June 5th he's dead. So I'm going to be a happy child. So I remember then I always tell my brother, he's also sickle cell, that Omo, this is it. My brother always tell me he died for us. Be like Jesus story. That he died for us so that we will not die. And I'm looking at you like, let's see this how they talk. I beg you. So I told myself 20 passed, and I'm like, okay. Let's get into it.
Where are we going?
Let's get into it. And I was even waiting. It was that bad because my brother's one was on his birthday period. So I was waiting on my birthday period. When people are telling me, oh my God, you clocked 20. I'm like, you will soon be saying another thing. But I was really clocking, waiting for that. So when it didn't happen, I didn't tell most people, but I think it's just my brother that knew. So at 21, and after making real life plans for myself, that's when my life started. Before I was just joking, I was trying to know what life is, basically. But it's been good, I think.
Your brother, is he your younger brother or your older brother?
That's a very
Because I'm trying to see if you're the last one.
That's a very deep question.
Not
I'm telling you, it's deep.
Is it?
You will not understand what
Okay.
when I mean it's deep. He's my elder brother, he's my twin brother, and he's my younger brother. I'm sorry, it's deep, but just take it like that.
twin.
Yeah,
Actual twin.
yeah.
What? That's crazy, yo.
What
I
is
didn't know
your
you were a
twins?
twin.
I gave you 3 things.
No, I mean I'm fixated on two because I didn't know you were a twin.
It's my twin brother.
What's your twin name?
I don't understand.
You guys are supposed to have twin names now.
I know.
It's
It's our Igbo names that sound like that.
What's the name?
I don't share my Igbo name.
Okay.
I don't do that.
Okay, fair.
My Igbo name, you should know it, Seth. We are doing school together, you should know it. But that name, just leave it. Everybody has destroyed that name for me, so let's just leave it aside.
Fair. So you guys have to watch each other be sick, like and go through.
Yeah, but I actually like it. I'm sorry.
But I realize that when women are in situations that are unpleasant, they become funny. Take in case in point. Because you really like it.
I like it because I have my own person, not someone that is going somewhere, not a friend. You are here, you get. I have someone that is my person that understands exactly how I feel. I'm very close to my other siblings, but they can't understand. They can only tell that, oh, I think I know how she's feeling. But he knows exactly how the pain hurts. So he understands. So sometimes he's just looking at me and it's like, you will go through it. And I'm believing him because you know how it feels and you are telling me I'll go through it. So that means I'll actually go through it. So, and that's another reason why I decided to build a community, because I enjoy what I have with him. You get. Sometimes he's going through serious pain and I tell him I'm coming over. When I come over, you feel better. Literally, when I come over, he feels better. Do you get? So that's why I wanted to create a community, or I'm creating a community where you can have my back, I'll have your back. I can remind you to drink water, remind you to take your drugs. You do the same for me. And we're literally there. You are ill. I come and I stroll in, I visit you. I understand how you feel. So it just feels better. It just feels a lot better having him around.
So more on the community side of things, right? Because it's easy to feel alone in this walk. Because even before the cameras came on, I was talking to her about a set of twins that I knew. That's when you should have told me that you were a twin. When I was gisting you, you should have told me that you were a twin. You had a window.
It's complicated.
So talking about this set of twins that I knew that I met in 2016, 17. And now one of them is late. So I cannot put into words. I cannot ask how he's feeling, because the thing is, I'm very sensitive to these kind of things, right? So I might feel, I don't know how to explain how I'll feel, but I would feel too bad, because I know how closely knitted he was with his twin. And I also know that now he has to endure this alone. Because I remember that they both said that, that they wanted to do everything together, their bone marrow transplant together, and they didn't want to survive it, they will not survive it together. So I cannot imagine his twin going and him being here. So he's alone, and there are people like that are also alone. There are people that were not even twins, that were born singly, and they're alone in this walk. So more on the community side of things, like what prompted you to create a community is because of what you have with your brother. Now, how do they find that community? How do they join that community?
So currently, I'm still looking for a way to make it more accessible, make it more comfortable. But right now, what we just have is an Instagram, let's say an Instagram group chat where we just gist, laugh, talk about things, remind ourselves to take water, drink water. And I've also created personal relationship with some of them. So I'm not even, the truth is I can't be in everyone's life, but at least if for example we are 5 now, I might be in 2 people's life, you might be in another person's life and all, but just create that space where they can feel loved and all. So right now is on my IG bio. The link is on my IG bio to just join in. That's all, basically. So far, even people who are not warriors are also on the group chat. People that have had encounters with warriors and all. Just reminding them like, oh, I'm here to talk to and all, basically.
So you mentioned that life began at 21 for you. 21 was when you started living. You were not living before.
I was having fun. I was having fun before 21. Like, I didn't have plan.
I feel like it takes a lot of strength to actually have fun. Because I feel like if it was me, if I were in your shoes, I would just be counting down. Like, I would be fixated on
it.
Counting down. I'll be fixated on turning 20 and dying.
I think it's the year I turned 20 that I started counting down. Like, okay, April. Because my birthday is April, so I was like, April and all. But I know before I entered school, my father told me that, because I think I failed post-UTME. I passed JAM and I failed post-UTME or something like that. Then I was to do diploma. My father said if I failed diploma, I was going to sell tomato.
Oh, he's all of us, don't worry.
No, the problem with my father now is when he says it, even if it's just 1 month, you shall do it. He wants to teach you a very big lesson. You shall do it. So when he told me, I don't know if you can remember, but I looked at him like, you that instead of you to be planning my funeral, you're talking about you're talking about tomato. I would say the tomato was my business. But then again, I was still saying that because my elder brother died in year 2, mass communication as well. And I'm like, my mom wanted me to study mass communication. I'm like, why are you just pushing me to this same path of my late brother? But I did it. So everything I was doing before 21, to be honest, was because of my parents. It's like they wanted me to go to school, I'll go to school. They wanted me to study mass communication, I'll study mass communication. That's what I was just doing. It was until 21 I started telling myself that. It was until what year was I in 21? I can't remember. But it was at 21 that I know I started pursuing my GP. Like, okay, let's make this work. It looks like I'll finish school. And everybody in my house, apart from most people in my house finished with 2-1. My sister finished the first class. And we're just 2 girls. So I was now telling myself at 21 that if every other person can do second class upper, I have to do it. I left first class for my sister. I'm not struggling that one with her. I know. So that's when I really started putting my life into several things and all. Well,
it's crazy that you were able to balance all of that too.
I think also because I didn't tell people. If I had told people, maybe I'll be so pressured. I know. So just my brother that knew that I was not doing life with all these things people are doing. All this, I want to make money. That's people's business. I was not doing that with anybody. I know. So I felt like nobody knew my secrets. I was just enjoying myself and all. My friends would be so angry. They'll literally be reminding me that you had a fight with this girl. She did this, she did that. And I'll be like, oh, okay. So I'm meant to fight, right? Like, I'm not meant to talk to this person. Well, I didn't used to do all those things. Like, life was just...
Do them now?
No, I don't. It's so... to be honest, I feel people take me for granted sometimes because you know that I would not carry this in my heart for long. So even if I do it right now, it's me intentionally doing it. Like, I don't want to give you that space in my life anymore for you to come and redo what you have done. But do I miss you? Yes. Have I picked up my phone to say, let me even call you? I do it a lot. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, back to you not planning your life before 20. So I'm guessing that unlike the rest of us, you did not picture yourself fairy tale wedding, Disney princess kind of lifestyle, Prince Charming.
It was like this. So I started dating at SS2.
This one not even one wait for us.
I started dating. I don't know how I got into that relationship, but that relationship was very sweet, and it was years. I feel like if I tell you the amount of years, you calculate certain things. But it was 8 years. My relationship was 8 years. That means that relationship ended after university.
Oh. I didn't even know maths enough to know that you ended after university.
So yeah, ended after university. So I was in love with this person, but my problem with this relationship was I did not feel the connection between my health and this relationship. I felt like he didn't really know much about my health. He wasn't trying to find out much about my health. But I wanted to settle down with this person. But that was my problem. If I can't settle down with someone that knows little or nothing about my health. So that was just my only problem. But I really liked this person. But then again, it was my first relationship. And it was the longest. So I ended it. When I ended, I was broken. I was broken, but I ended it. One way or the other, I entered into another relationship that same year. And it was a family friend, not really a family, a friend to one person in the family, and we started dating. I think it was in his 30s already, so he wanted to settle down and all. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. But even if I said let's do this, I'm not saying let's do this now. Like, let me get to know you. Yes, I've known you for years, but not as my partner. Do you get? So we started talking because he's already a friend to the family. My parents knew him and all my relationship, my parents have known the person. Because I feel like you have a lot to know. So come to my family and find out. So this relationship was going... I will not say as sweet as my past relationship, but I also felt like nobody pressured me, but I felt like I was being pressured. Like, oh, I'm sickle cell and I don't think I'll get married. So this is like a proof that I'll get married. I also wanted my mom to be happy that I got married because I know that's also part of a prayer point. You get? But then... he's a very quiet person. So sometimes when we have issues, he's quiet until middle of the night. It looks like he was in a court. In the middle of the night, he wakes up and he's angry. He's like shouting. He's like, what do you mean? There was one particular issue we had. He came to the house unannounced. I had made dinner. Everybody had eaten. My brother had not eaten his food. So he comes to the house and I'm like, you didn't tell me you were coming. There's no food anymore. However, I can make noodles for you. I hated cooking until this year. I hated cooking with passion. But I'm like, noodles now. I'll make noodles for you. And he's with me in the kitchen. We're making noodles. He's gisting me how his day went. My brother comes in, takes his spaghetti from the microwave and leaves. He didn't say anything. We ate that food. I took my drug because he's the one that used to set my drugs for me and give it to me. So I took my drugs and we slept. He slept in my house that day. Behold for real. Behold, he woke up and he's like, I know you love your brother more than you love me. If you can marry your brother, you will marry your brother. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And he's like, you told me there was no food, but your brother had spag. And I'm like, literally, I was that confused. And in my head, I'm like, you are forming that we are family. You always say, oh, we are family, we are family, we are family. If you saw my brother take spag, you can literally say it at the front of my brother. That's how close my family we are. Like, say what you feel, like talk and everything.
You're older. Why do you want to be dragging food to somebody that is younger?
You can even open your mouth and actually say things like, you talk say food no day, or I beg I want base, cheese make I base. You get? He didn't say anything, and I'm telling you, 2 p.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That's the period he wakes up to fight. Whether he's there or not, that's the period he wakes up to fight. So it kept on happening, and I'm one that if I'm having issues, I do not like to take it to my family, especially when I know I'm still trying to be in this relationship, because I don't want you to see my partner as something else. So I'm still trying to figure it out myself. So that kept on happening. There's one day he asked me, who do I love most between him and my mom? My response to him was, do you actually want me to break your heart with this answer? Because what is the meaning of that question? I'll give him his flowers. He was very good with my health. Like, I think the period I was with him, I never missed my drug for one day. He was very good with my health. He would always check in, oh, how are you feeling? Have you drank water? He'll bring water for you. I'm feeling a pain in my leg. You help me massage. He was very good with my health. What my past relationship lacked. So I'm like, this is really what I need. Let me be here. But time went on. I'm like, what's actually happening? The day he engaged me, that was, I think, 13th of September. That night we still fought. I haven't forgotten what we fought about, but something very crazy. So things were happening and I'm asking myself that, are you sure I want to do this? I was so tempted to talk to my sister. So apparently I met him through my sister's husband. And I was very close to my sister's husband, very close. So I was tempted to ask my sister. But I feel like if I ask my sister, she will also tell her husband. I didn't want that. I was like, let me keep understanding what's happening here. Then NYC came. I'm like, okay, I'll use this to be a way. Sometimes he comes to the house unannounced. And it's not a form of, oh, I want to, like something romantic. It was a form of, I want to be sure you're at home. You get? He takes me from point A to point B. It's not a function of, I don't want you to stress. It's a function of, I want to be sure where you are, who you are with. At first, when the relationship started, it felt like he was coming from a romantic aspect. I'm like, oh my
cute.
God, my man is so good.
So cute. He's a good man,
like,
Savannah.
I'm like, the word, I made it. But as time went on, I'm like, no, this is not what I thought in the beginning. So I went for NYC. When I went for NYC, the plan was that I would come back after some days because of my health. I knew that I was not going to come back. I wanted to go and think. Let me know what's happening exactly.
This was after the proposal?
Yes, this was after the proposal. So even when people were asking me in camp that, oh my God, you're engaged and it's something I'm meant to be happy about. I'm like, I was put a smile. I'm like, this ring, I'm looking at it. If you come over my heart too. So I did a lot, and that's when funny enough, it's not like, I will not even say I was always praying to God. So since my brother died, I keep hearing his voice. And this is like more than 20 something years now. I keep hearing his voice. So he guides me, literally. He guides me on where to, like sometimes if I have an event, I hear a voice that don't go for this. So it always happens to me. So I just, it's more like I started talking to my brother, not exactly praying. So I'll tell my brother that, Mom, what's going on? No, I don't know. Should I do this? Should I not do this? I know. That very day, a friend called me and was telling me that I should listen to my heart. I'm not listening to my heart and all. That same day, he called me and he's crying. I'm like, oh, what's wrong and all? And he's like, so this was November, yeah. Our engagement was meant to be December. Our traditional marriage was meant to be December. So he's crying and he's like, his popsy. I'm like, what happened to your popsy? He's like, his popsy is saying he's still unsure about us. What do you mean your popsy is still unsure? And the funniest thing is, I feel like my dad is too wise, but we just feel like we are holding this, so let me not listen to you. My dad does not like the whole idea of dating. I don't think no parents, no olden days parents will like it, basically. My dad does not like the idea. So he was telling me that he didn't like, so my dad did not like the idea that I was dating him. And my dad did not also like the idea that his parents had not in any way had communication with my parents. We knew they had accepted, we're planning a wedding, but my parents and his parents had not spoken. So my dad was always, what is that? That's not how it's done and all. I'm like, but I hear his parents talk, so it's not like it's just what he's telling me. I hear them talk and all. I speak to his mom then. So I'm like, what do you mean your dad is not sure and everything? I say, you handle it. That day I busted into tears and all. After when I came back, I had a crisis in camp a day before leaving camp. So I didn't leave that day. They had to admit me and all. So when I finally came back, that day I came back, I was still in pain when I came back. We still fought. As I saw him like this, he fought with me that I stayed in camp for 3 weeks. I digested that one. I got home and he was on a call with his dad, a video call. I greeted his dad and all. So it's just like I'm on a video call and you are sitting down here. Then his dad says, no. His dad said something in Igbo that I didn't catch exactly. Then I want to speak, then I decide to speak to his dad again. And his dad now says things like, I'm not still sure about this relationship. I don't want you to drop dead one day and leave my son. And I'm like, okay. So he said that to me and I was still shocked. But I didn't want to show that I was shocked. And I'm like, I also believe that, and I tell my parents, if I wasn't sickle cell and I brought someone home that was sickle cell, you will not accept the person immediately, let's be frank. So I understand that before I get accepted, there will be a period that I will not be accepted. But what was shocking me was the fact that you said you don't want me to drop dead one day and leave your son. I don't mean you said that this thing is hard. I can even be explaining to you why I understand and all. But, and also the fact that you said
that drop dead is crazy.
It is.
Like when you say drop dead, what's supposed to accompany it is gorgeous.
I do know the funniest thing? He's a doctor, a medical doctor. The person that said that to me is a medical doctor. And I'm like, okay, what are we saying here? They need to take your license, but... So, another thing is, the period he said it, we're in December. My engagement was meant to be in December. That passed, I still did not say anything. Then the madness of his son became worse. So, my phone will be on 100. When I wake up from sleep, it's on like 2%.
They play game. Maybe he's playing Candy Crush.
And the thing is, I don't know whether he didn't know how to use iPhone, but he used iPhone. So maybe before I sleep, I close my tabs. He doesn't close it. So I'm seeing everything you went through. You went through emails. You went through Uber, boat trip. And I'm like, am I going to be texting Uber driver like, hey, daddy?
Hey, daddy.
what exactly is the issue? So he went through the first time I noticed it, I was like, something is off somewhere. I noticed the second time, he goes as far as responding to my messages because he wants to open it. Like maybe it's on red, you just want to open it. So you now have to respond so that it look like I respond. And because I forget things easily.
And you knew about that?
Yeah. So I'll be confused. That's why, I don't know if you noticed, my chat starts with a signature.
Yes.
That's how that started. I'm like, but I used to chat with everybody like that apart from him. And I knew he would notice. So then when I now see my chat and I see that signature is not there, I'm like, okay, I knew who responded to this. So it happened first, second, third. It was the third time that I told you my battery went from 100 to 0. And I woke up, I saw him trying to charge my phone. I said, no, my phone is full. He said, no, it's on 2%. Hello, dear. Then I now sat him down and I told him, you checked my phone the first time. He did not say anything. The second time, it's fine, no, you have trust issues. Check it and fulfill yourself. But if you have checked the first second, you did not see anything. Why are you checking it a third time? Like, is my phone novel? What's going on here? That's when I knew that I'm not doing this. But then it now went to a problem of how do I tell my parents I am not doing this anymore. And I was even so nice that I was looking for a way not to paint him bad while saying I'm no longer doing this. Also, he had an issue with my ex. Before I dated my ex, the 8 years relationship, we were very good friends. We had clique of friends and all. So even though we have broken up, we still have clique of friends. So one way or the other, we would be meeting and all. So he had an issue with the fact that my ex was still in my life one way or the other. He said I should block him. I'm like, I'm not fighting with this person. I don't think I should block. The best I can do for you is that I will not communicate with this person personally. Maybe in groups, yes, personally. So fast forward to, okay, before that even happened, in December, I decided to fake a sickness so that I won't travel for my traditional. So, of course, nobody will say I should try and make it. This one is I'm sick. So I was sick, and they took me to the hospital. My parents had already traveled by then, and something weird happened. So there's this injection they give you, and you lose control of yourself, like you don't know what's happening. But when I had that conversation with him about checking my phone, I changed my password. So this was like some days before I now went to the hospital. So it felt like they gave me overdose of that drug, because I was literally, like, it felt like my heart rate was faster. I couldn't breathe. And I kept on telling him, please call the nurses, please call the doctor. I feel like I was given an overdose. His phone was low, my phone wasn't. He now started telling me, he's also in the medical line, but not a medical doctor. He started telling me, what's your password? Let me check for solution on internet. And I'm like, we're in the hospital. We're not at home.
Ask the doctor.
Just take few steps away from me and ask the doctor what's up. He was like, no, open it. And in my down moment, he started arguing with me that, why don't you want me to know your password? So I'm like, I'm literally fighting for my life, and you are arguing about my password. So a part of me wanted to give in, just so that you just take the password, but go and call doctor. But I decided that no. If I die, let me just die. Let me know you killed me. Because what is the meaning of this? So finally, he went to go and call the doctors and all. They gave me an injection to calm me down. And it's at that moment I heard my brother's voice. It's like, just walk out. You have tried. I tried to make that relationship work. God knows. I tried. I was always giving an excuse for the rubbish behavior I was saying. There was one particular night, and the funniest thing is, I was staying in my sister's house at that moment. He would come to my sister's house to see me, and that was also because he had a relationship with my sister's husband. There was one particular night, I've forgotten what happened. He started shouting in the middle of the night again. Then I stood up to walk out, and he dragged me by my clothes. That's when I'm like, now from clap dance they start. But still, I was still giving excuses. I was still saying, he did not sharp beat me, so maybe it's just, I just want you to come back and all. He tore my clothes that night. I can remember that night I screamed, and my sister and her husband came out and gave him a serious warning that this is what you want to be doing. Don't be coming to this house anymore. I know. So in December, I told myself that I'm not doing this. But I was not looking for a way to pass it to my parents. Then I opened up to my sister. Even my brother, my sister's husband sat me down and indirectly told me to end it, but without saying anything, he just said, this is how you want to be living your life. Like, he was telling me you were such a very cheerful. He even had an issue with my sister's husband. I said I was staying with them, yeah. And there was one day I came, my sister's husband was trying to feed his child, and he was wearing this jalamia. No, not jalamia, the female version. Bubu. He was wearing my bubu and trying to feed his child. And he walked in. And next thing he's asking me, I was wearing bomb short and top, cooking in the kitchen. He woke me up in the middle of the night again, always in the night. All this fight I'm telling you is always in the night. And he was asking me, why am I wearing bomb shorts in the house? And I'm so confused because that's not the first time he has seen me wearing bomb shorts. It was like, and my sister's husband is wearing my boo-boo and everything. That hope is not harassing me. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, how do you actually sit down to think of these things? Like, how does your brain work? Oh, well, it was crazy. I didn't even tell. I think this is even the first time, if he watches this video, it's the first time he will hear this. I didn't tell him because I didn't also want to destroy their friendship. Finally, I told my sister, told my siblings, But the problem now was how to take out this ring and how to tell my parents. Fast forward to January. I already told him that don't worry, we'll do this traditional next day. We had bought outfits, he had sold his own and everything. Me, I don't sew my own because I know. So January came, my is a long triangle or a long rope. My sister's husband's brother was getting married in January. His wife was sister to my ex's friend. So his wife was the sister to my ex's friend. That means my ex will be there. But that day was a bit chaotic. My sister was pregnant as at that time, so she was having pregnancy sickness. Her husband now fell sick as well. They took her husband to the hospital. I was taking care of my sister in the hotel room of the event center. Next thing, she became worse. She was throwing up, so we're like, let's take her to the hospital. The same hospital her husband is in. They should share bed. They'll get better. So he tells me, okay, let him go and drop her. I'm like, oh, I need to go back to the hotel. Like, I need to be at the hotel. The room wasn't closed. There was money there, people's property and everything. And he shouted at me that, oh, no. I should enter the car. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there are valuables there. My dad came. He's like, what's happening? My dad too was angry. Like, I should follow. Like, of course, he's thinking of her health. But I'm like, you are there. My fiancé is there. You can take care of her. But I followed. I had to call my sister-in-law and tell her, oh, the room was open. Close it. So I was with my sister. He dropped me and he's like, if you want to go anywhere, don't enter bike. Let me know. I'm like, okay. And my sister, she vomited on her body and all. So they had to, like, remove her clothes. And she's like, oh, I should go and get her things. I was also with my friend at that moment, Onye. We entered bike together. I did not obey my Lord. My king, I did not obey him. So I went back to the hotel. Meanwhile, all this while, he was with my phone. Throughout this day, he was with my phone. So I went back to the hotel to pack her things. And I realized that Omo is heavier than I thought. And I called my king. I said, please, oh, come and carry me. Like, where am I? I said, I'm at the hotel. He's like, what do you mean you're at the hotel? I left you at the hospital. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I tried to explain. Sha came. He carried me and my friends. So there were 4 at the back, 3 at the back. And we started our journey. Someone now hit him. He comes and he sees it's a woman, so he just comes back inside. And he decided that me, I'm the man. It's me he will shout on. Since he cannot shout on that woman, it's the man he drops inside his car he will shout at. So he was not shouting that it's me that caused this accident, that if I was not here at this moment, if I didn't bring him here, and Anna, so it's like everything has been in my heart. So I just flared up like, what do you mean by I'm the cause of your problem, blah, blah, blah. I shouted as well. And it's like, they're shouting at me in front of you shouted at me in front of them. Like, you shouted at me too. Let's embarrass ourselves. But before then, in the morning of that wedding, I had cried while praying that I wanted to be done with this. Engagement is not meant to be... I'm meant to be enjoying it. Yeah. I wasn't enjoying it anymore. So I had prayed. I cried while praying and all. Finally, this was now happening. So when we got to the hospital, he dropped them. And I came out of the car and he's like, I should come back inside. And he's like, so it's me you were shouting at the front of your friends and all. And I'm like, you shouted at me too. And he's like, he sees that I do not want this relationship. And in my mind, I'm like, But I did say yes. I'm like, and he's like, it seems you don't want this relationship. It's fine. Give me back my ring.
Ah.
Ha! If I could dance inside that car, if I could dance, I removed it and I gave him. I shut the door and I never looked back. The moment I entered the hospital room, my ring was very obvious. The moment I entered, my brother-in-law first looked at me and say, dear? Because they already knew what's up, do you get? It's my mother that was now confused, like, where is your ring? And I'm like, the owner have collected it. Like, what do you mean by the owner have collected it? From that moment, it's as if they dropped something from my body. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. this is you. No problem, it's you that ended the engagement. Carry it, carry the
you're looking
crown.
for how to end it. It makes bro, that's
I was so happy. I've never. It took a while for me to say, wait, it's truly engagement. I was so. I moved on with life so quick. My friends were even asking me, "Are you sure you love this? Are you sure you love this guy?" I'm like, "Yes, I did, but you will not come and kill me, because that's when I would be miserable in that place, and I will always be falling sick. I would always be falling sick." So that was how that engagement got cut off. My father called him to come and say a side of his story. My father likes, let me hear your story. I will not say because it's my daughter. He came to my place and said, he came to my place and told me that he's going to go and talk to my father. That do I want to come back before he goes? I said, don't filter anything. Tell my father everything. Open your can of worms and pour it. Say everything. Because I could beat my chest. I did nothing wrong to you. And you got trust issues because you said you were coming from a broken home.
My thing is, did you not at any point think that? I mean, he was good with your drugs. He was great with your health. But did you not at any point think that him arguing with you wasn't beneficial for your health? Because how is it that you have a pass mark on the drugs part, but not the shouting part? Because why are you shouting?
And it was the funniest thing is when we started this relationship, he was very quiet. The moment he engaged me, it's as if, okay, you are my property now. You come to my house. I told you my dad has a restaurant, so my dad cooks. You come to my house. We don't do all those respect things that, you say, when your dad is here, you lie down and greet him, or you serve him, we don't do all those things. When we finish eating, if I finish eating and I'm just still pressing my phone, my dad finishes eating, he can carry my plate. That's how we are in my house. So he came, we did New Year festival thing, and he came and my father served us yam, and when he finished, we're cleaning plate together, but my dad was also cleaning. When we left, he was fighting with me.
Because your dad was clearing plates?
Yes. And I'm like, fam, when you come to Rome, behave like the Romans. When I come to your place, I will carry your father's plates. That's how you guys behave there. But in my house, that's not how we do. You cannot come and change me. He even fought with me that my sister served her husband yam. Me, I didn't wait for him to eat yam first. I'm like, what are we in a relationship, or what's going on? Are you my leader? Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was crazy. Like, are you my boss, literally? Am I meant to treat you like a boss, or am I meant to treat you like my partner? So sometimes he sees certain things and he's like, no, I shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. Or when my dad calls me, sometimes when my dad calls me, I'll be like, I call him my son, but in Igbo. So I'll be like, that's my son, how are you doing, and everything. He will not be like, you have not said good morning, you have not said good. It's my relationship with my father. He knows the morning is good. Literally. Let me breathe. But he was always, so sometimes I don't even want to talk to my family. I'm telling my senior sister, my sister is 9 years older than I am. I'm telling my sister, come on, shift. He's looking at me like, what's the meaning of that? Like, it's an abomination. But dog, come on, shift.
Shift.
And she will shift. Like, that is our relationship. And that's what matters. My firstborn is like 18 years older than me. We yab ourselves. Why they do like this? They do like old man. That's our relationship. When I come to your side, I will respect you. I have respect in me. Do you get? And me, even if, of course, when my father is talking to me and we're serious, you see the respect and all. Or if my dad has his bald, he barbs skin. I'm rubbing my dad's head. He's complaining. Something my dad is enjoying.
I feel like all those things where should have been the red flag from the beginning.
The moment I left that relationship,
your eyes cleared.
I dusted my slippers. I said, men, you people should leave me.
Did he come back to beg?
He came back to beg for something stupid. And you know the funniest thing is when you are cheating, that's when you'll be looking at your partner because you know what you are doing. So you think your partner will be doing the same. When he came to beg, there's one babe that is always gisting me about that the baby used to disturb him. This and blah, 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 blah. He came to beg. His phone was in the middle of us like this, inside this car. And I saw the babe's message and said, something about she'll be coming over today. We are barely, our heartbreak anniversary never reached 2 weeks or 3, another babe is already coming over. I looked at, I didn't say anything. I just moved on. Well, me, I'm done with you. Yeah, you can go and meet all the people in life.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy because oh goodness gracious God. Well, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. But good that it happened to you after 21. Because if it happened to you before 20, it will look as if it was trying to kill you.
Yeah.
For that 20 years
Like
ago.
this is the person they sent to kill me. Funny enough, I say one thing. If sickle cell did not kill me at 20, nothing can kill me. I don't pass that. I'm not dying anytime. I'm your faces. I'm not dying anytime soon at all. So I shall left relationship for relationship people. Until another heartbreak happened. My God, but this relationship was the best.
The one after
Yes. The one after
the proposal, the engagement.
Yeah, was the best. Anyways, so this particular relationship was like the sweetest and the deepest I've ever had. You know, when you're in a relationship and you tell yourself this is your last bus stop. No, it was not even about engagement or anything. I told myself this is my last bus stop. I was here. I was sat. In fact, I laid in this relationship. That was when I enjoyed. I told you I started enjoying cooking this year.
Yes.
I enjoyed cooking. You know when you are cooking and you're like, you want your man to come and eat your food. Aye, Jesus.
I've very done that.
I enjoyed the new me. I felt like a mother. I felt like a wife. So I feel like this relationship, since it didn't work out, was the relationship to prepare me for the final one. I'm not looking for the final one. Like if it comes, it comes. I'm not searching or anything. This one I entered to, I was not searching. I found myself in the relationship. So, and that was after 2 years. So if I find myself in another relationship, I feel like God was preparing me for. Because my mom always tell me, this one you don't need to cook and everything. I hated cooking. I hated anything that was, and I told you that stress was also part of. So I wanted to be stressing, a stress that will give me money. That's the only stress I want to do. Then I can be paying people that can do other things for me. But this one, I saw a new me. Like I said, my friends were so confused, like what's going on? I started enjoying these things. I didn't see them as stress anymore. I enjoyed cleaning, I enjoyed cooking, I enjoyed washing. I enjoyed looking out for you as my partner. Like, I just felt motherly. Like, I felt like I was ready.
So I'm actually glad that you're living your life like a normal person. Like you're living normally. Mm-hmm. You're experiencing heartbreak the way normal people experience. The way normal people experience heartbreak.
I feel like I experienced heartbreak twice, actually, in a relationship. The beginning and the end. So for every relationship I've been in, I always have to know your parents. Because I don't want, when I've built love, at the part where we are looking at getting married or something, your parents do not say, no, I'm not taking this one. So all my relationship, I've always known their parents. They know me. They know my health status. So that in case it leads to marriage, I know that I've already fought this battle. You get? So I experienced heartbreak at the beginning, because at the beginning they will always not accept me. And I'm fine with that. However, does it still hurt? It does. So I experienced it there. Then when you now mess me up again. So imagine I fought a battle. I have sat down. I'm like, yes, I've won. You now come and tell me, I'm joking. You have not won.
But you don't get crisis from that. You do.
God, I beg.
I feel like I'll be.
This is my last.
So when you're not scared to break your heart.
So I don't want that. I'm someone that if I have issues with you, we'll talk about it. I don't pity me. Let me know. Break my heart now. And I know that, not that I'll be in a relationship and I'm uncertain about things. Do you get? So I'm a talker. I will talk to you. I want to know what's up. I want to know what's going on. I want to always know how you feel, because I can't be in a relationship and you don't feel happy. I'm not that. I'm a very happy child. So I need to bring more joy into your life. Do you get? This is my last relationship now. I would always talk. I was in the hospital in October. I was in hospital in November, and the reason for me being in hospital was with me every night. But of course, do I still want you there? Yes, I do. I feel like it would be worse if you're not there, so just be there with me and all. But will I tell you to your face that you're the reason I'm in this hospital? No, I will not. Did you get? But
I absolutely understand. Do you have a safe space?
I do.
What's your safe space?
Anywhere my friends are.
See, that was the same thing I said. That's the same thing I said when I shot Ini. See? It makes sense that your friends are your safe space.
They are the best part of my life. I feel like that's something God blessed me with. He said, go into the world with this battle, but you will have, your army will be great, basically. I have several friends that have been there, who sleep with me in the hospital without having to ask. One of them is my best friend, Sickle. That girl, I met her in camp, and in January, after my heartbreak, I fell sick. She came to me and stayed with me. Like, I didn't have to ask. Someone I was just meeting barely a month. And she did something that I was so shocked. Like, my pain paused for me to watch her first. She took my clothes and went to wash it. This was including my undies. I cannot wash my friends' undies, people that I've spent years with. And this was someone barely a month of knowing her. And I was looking at her like, no, you don't need to. And she was like, which hand do you use and wash it? Because I was literally having pains in my hand. Since then, that girl has been the best part of my day. Like, I wake up and I'm like, it feels like I'm in a relationship, literally.
Shout out to you, Sickle.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
I will always love you,
space.
you know that. She's my safe space. And I like the fact that she'll tell you to your face when you fuck up. She'll tell you that you are messing up right now. And she'll also tell you when you are doing great. So she's just like basically your conscience.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. I mean, I was going to ask, what has a friend or random stranger done for you that made you feel safe? But I think you already answered that. Okay. So, this last part of the game, safe or risk it? Would you play it safe with a sweet romantic gesture, or risk it by serenading your crush in public, hoping they don't call security?
I'll play it safe, please. Sweetie with that. No. I can't. Even when I like someone, the best I will do is go to Instagram, look at it and move on.
Honestly,
I cannot.
Honestly. I used to turn red very fast. I cannot serenade anybody in public. I'll just turn red.
But I've also not had that. Like, I feel like maybe why I've not had an opportunity to maybe see if I'll be able to do that is also because most of my life I've actually been in serious relationships. So I see you and I like, nice, and I just move on.
True, fair.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite song?
Heartbreak Anniversary.
Backtrack to episode 2 with Shank. I mentioned it there. Heartbreak Anniversary and Olivia Rodrigo.
I like Heartbreak Anniversary. I like At My Worst. Do you know it? How do they sing it?
Who sang it?
Pink Sweat.
I don't know it.
I like At My Worst.
Alright, our song for the week is At My Worst. So we're going to go and learn At My Worst. We already know Heartbreak Anniversary because I feel like when the song came out, it was when all of us were heartbroken. Right? So, yeah. Our song of the week is Pink Sweat, At My Worst.
At My Worst.
Will you make us cry?
Not really.
Well, we like to cry in this community.
Not really. Maybe if you just think about your past while listening to it.
Okay, fair. At My Worst. Everybody knows my favorite song. I'm not going to delve into that anymore because I feel like you're tired of hearing me say that Remember is my favorite song. If you don't remember, is my favorite song. So all warriors, you have to have a last word for warriors before you sign out.
Okay, so I like to call them my babies, my warriors. The truth is, as hard as it sounds, you are different. But you are different in a very unique way. You are the strongest person on earth. Just know that. Because half of what you go through, most people can't. So always remember that, and don't fault people around you. Don't fault your parents. don't force anything. Everybody has a purpose in life. You came in for something and you definitely achieve it with or without sickle cell. It's just more flex that you achieve this even as a sickle cell warrior. Think about it. Anyways, remember to always drink water, take your daily drugs, and find what makes you happy, because once you're in a happy space, you definitely always feel better. I love you. Oh. I made friends. I made like a home, a family away from my family in the hospital. So I have a particular hospital, and we always, like, anytime I go there, I don't want to feel like I'm in the hospital. So I just gist and laugh. I have like friends.
You want to recommend it to fellow warriors?
Yeah, Motayo Hospital, Ikeja. They are very great with sickle cell warriors.
Thank you guys for watching, and I'm so glad we had this conversation. It's away from my normal. I feel like my safe space is coming together with this kind of conversations. So I'll see you in my next video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and whatever platform you're streaming this from, rate it. Rate my podcast so we can go up and high. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you, Winnie, for coming. Bye.
Bye.